All right. So, first off, we have the Fletcher. Great DPM. Insanely good DPM. I believe it probably either some of the best, if not the best, HE DPM for all destroyers. Fast turning turrets. Now, yes, you have the slow shell speed. Just full DPM. Now, yes, you have 5x2 torpedoes, which are really just best for area denial at best. Like, yeah, they could still touch battleships, but they're not the insanely nuclear Japanese torpedoes or the like super fast Frenchies or the fast reloading Germans. They have a long reload. They're slow. They're not the slowest, but they're pretty slow. They have okay range. But yeah, just the sheer DPM of the Fletcher just cannot be matched. Like Fletcher can just dominate gunfights. She also has some of the best AA for destroyers at the tier. Like only Akizuki and Freisland beat her out in terms of AA. And technically ZF6 if you run defensive AA, but I don't know why you'd want to run defensive AA on a boat that really needs a smoke screen because it's slow. But just the sheer DPM, the extended smoke screen, pretty decent maneuverability. I think that just Fletcher easily slides into S tier, especially for Legends. Lightning. So, for me personally, Lightning is another S tier. Because she's a traditional destroyer playstyle with Hydro, great smoke, 360-degree turrets. She has poor torpedo angles, but she can single launch them. Now, I think Lightning's an S too, because the 360-degree turrets will always assure that you have all 6 guns on target at all time. That Hydro makes it great for popping in and out of concealment. Well, the smoke makes it great for popping in and out of concealment. The Hydro is great for hunting down ships that have pop smoke. And you have 8 torpedoes that you can single launch in a conga line of death. So fighting bound targets isn't really that hard. Plus, you have a pretty decent fire chance and great reload, so you can always deal with them efficiently. And yeah, Lightning's a great ship. Easily a great solo carry. If there's one thing I'd say, it's just she is very maneuverable, but she is slow. She is one on the slower side of the destroyers because she doesn't have access to speed boost. But she's very maneuverable, which is a great thing. But she can be outpaced by other destroyers in terms of speed. So that's where those quick acting smokes can come to save the day and help her just disengage really fast. But all in all, I mean, great boat for contesting a cap. Great ranked pick. These two are probably some of the best picks for ranked destroyers. Fantasque. Fantasque used to be S. We all can agree on that. Main battery reload booster on the 139 millimeter. I think they're 59 caliber, so they have pretty decent velocity. Very powerful main guns, great torpedoes, but not having that smoke can kind of hurt. She can obviously go super fast, but here's the thing with the French destroyers: they need that reload booster to do their DPM. They need their reload booster. With it, they'll have like a 2.5 second reload, and they can absolutely just chew through whatever they're shooting at. But as soon as that main battery reload booster is gone, they're dealing with a 5.5 to like 6 second reload. Now, they're still going to hit whatever they're shooting at pretty hard, but it's just that long reload can really hurt in gunfights. It's like they rely on their main battery reload booster to win a 1v1 against certain tier 7 destroyers, i.e. a Fletcher, a Freisland, an Akizuki. I mean, hell, even a ZF6. But she has great torpedoes. I know they did get nerfed, but she still has great torpedoes, great speed, pretty decent range, and pretty high alpha damage. But just having that lack of portable concealment and all in all, just like lack of utility. Like, very great at playing in the open water. Don't get me wrong. These ships in the open water, holy crap, they can just dodge. But if they don't have a speed boost up and they've already used their main battle reload booster, they're basically playing a worse version of basically a more stealthy version of a Russian destroyer. So very rewarding. It's a very rewarding play style to play the French destroyers because they're very fast. But yeah, exactly. She's a great boat, but she's basically going to be outgunned if she doesn't have her main battle reload booster up. So in terms of ranked, when there's only one destroyer, if she can engage that one destroyer in a 1v1, she has a very good chance of winning that fight. But all in all, in terms of utility, all she has is speed boost. And yes, main battery reload booster, but that's not really utility. That's a one-time use. And that speed boost, it helps you to get either, if you use go all out, you'll get under 5 kilometer concealment easily. But as soon as you go down, you're going to have like a 5.6, 5.7 concealment. So you're going to be outspotted. You're going to be out DPM'd by basically any other destroyer. So I feel like she's still barely an A. She is a low A, high B. Because she's going to be outgunned by, like you said, Lewis, by basically any other destroyer. She's just going to be out DPM'd. Very powerful boat, though. Very fast, very agile, hard-hitting guns. Like, cruisers have to be careful against these things because these 139s can hurt. Yeah. No. B. High B. I'm not going to put her in A. There are ships definitely better than Fantasque, such as Z23. Now, before you all convict me of heresy and burn me at the stake, just hear me out. So she has 5 150s that are very, very punchy with AP, and she does have quarter pen. Her torps have kind of low range. Yeah, exactly, Mikasa. You can just turn her away and just disengage. But yeah, she's Z23. She has speed boost, hydro, smoke. So very great utility. Now she's not going to be as maneuverable as the Fletcher or the Lightning. She's not going to be as fast as most destroyers, and she has very poor gun traverse. It's not like horrible levels, like Pensacola levels of gun traverse. But yeah, Z23 just has more utility to use, and she's stronger with your utility. Like in a cap, there are very few things that you want to engage, that you want to challenge a Z23 that is in smoke with hydro pop. Because yeah, her torps, they may not be the fastest, and yeah, they may not have the most range, but you can throw them out like every 70 seconds. They're very fast reloading torps. That's the perk of the German torpedoes. They're not going to be the fastest. They're not going to have the most range, but they have a fast reload, and they have pretty decent damage. But yeah, Z23 can really go toe-to-toe with a lot of destroyers, even some legendary tier destroyers, if she can position herself correctly. Yeah, just the utility usage, high HP pool, and the great AP of the German destroyers really puts her in A. Oh boy, this one's gonna hurt. Paolo Emilio. This ship is all for the memes. Because she has a long reload on her main guns, like at least 6 seconds. That's without standard fall or adrenaline rush have you. Her torpedoes, they're the Russian type of torpedoes where they're within your concealment. So it's all for the YOLO. That's the way you play the YOLO. It's all for YOLOing. It's not really a great solo carry boat because the ship can. It's exactly. Well, that's if you're just going full torp and stealth build choky. With my build, it's around like a 7 or 8 second. But yeah, like even then, that's you're going to be out DPM'd. There are very few things going to be as fast as you. Plus, with the amount of torpedoes, like you almost have the same torpedo alpha as Shimakaze's. So you can absolutely just, if you can successfully YOLO, you can take out like 2 or 3 ships easily and like trade all or just about all your hit points. But this ship, in terms of a solo carry, it's got poor concealment. It's got great speed, but long reload on its guns. It's very fast, but it's kind of got a larger turning circle because it's just a giant destroyer. Got the crawling smoke, obviously, which is very nice. And, like, yeah, your torpedoes are short range, but you can use that crawling smoke to get in close. If you could take ships one at a time, like take a battleship one at a time that doesn't have Hydra, you YOLO it, you get out of there, you disengage, you let your smoke recover, then maybe, but I love the Paolo Emilio. It's one of my favorite ships in the game to play, because I love just charging in with a smoke pop and just going straight for those torps. But in terms of a solo carry boat in both ranked and standard, it's not there. I might even consider putting it into F. I'm like considering it heavy because it's got poor DPM, very very poor concealment. All it's got going for it is the torpedoes, the torpedo damage, the crawling smoke, and the speed, and that's it. She's a low D. Low D. Akizuki. A. S tier. Holy crap, this thing is an absolute monster when it comes to DPM. This thing shits out shells so fast. It's as fast as, if not faster than, the Fletcher with 8 100mm guns. This thing, I believe it's the highest AP DPM of all the destroyers. I think it's even fast. It's even more than the ZF6 with reload booster. This thing shreds. It can even shred destroyers with AP. This thing can have its AP rounds fully armed on destroyers, and that can be kind of terrifying if you're in a gearing, or if you're in like a Russian destroyer like a Kagero or Tashkent. You also have one. I believe Akizuki has a quad launcher of torps. She also could have a quintuple, but I believe it's a quad. And they are long lances, so they'll do like 20k damage, and they have 10 kilometers of range, which is nice. But this ship is very slow, it's very sluggish, and it's a very easy target to shoot. It has okay AA. Like I said, it's better than Fletcher in terms of anti-aircraft, but not by much, but by a little. But holy crap, this thing is a DPM demon. If you see one of these things, be careful. Play it perfectly, because this thing will just shit out shells so fast it'll make a freeze. This thing is probably one of the few destroyers in the game, like besides Fletcher, that can easily take on a Freisland in a 1v1 and win. Yeah, exactly. This thing is it's a monster destroyer hunter. It's the king of DPM. Oh yeah, this ship is amazing. I need to do a lot more videos on Akizuki, or just in general play a lot more Akizuki, because holy shit, this ship is insane. Kagero. I think she's a solid B tier, because in terms of spotting, she is great, because she's stealthy. She's stealthy as shit. But like it's the same thing with Akatsuki. This ship lives and dies by its concealment. Yeah, exactly. Freisland can only match Akizuki with reload. But with Kagero, it lives and dies by its concealment. That's speed boost and smoke, but you can switch out the smoke for torpedo reload booster. But you're better off with smoke so that we can actually use your guns. Because with torpedo reload booster, you have no way of just quickly disengaging unless you're close to an island. So the ship like I said, the ship lives and dies by its concealment. It's got the great HE alpha, and it's got powerful torpedoes. But if caught in a 1v1 by, say, a Fletcher and Akizuki, if it misses its torpedoes, it doesn't even stand a chance. It's just going to be outgunned. Now, torpedo-wise, it's much stronger than almost every boat here. It's probably the best torpedo boat, the best tech tree torpedo boat in the game. Probably only beaten by, like, Akatsuki and Fubuki in terms of tier for tier. But yeah, it's got great torpedoes, great HE alpha, and great stealth, but it's got lower HP, kind of poor turret setup. We're ranking them in terms of like solo carry potential. Mikasa, it's kind of similar to what Flamu was doing. So it's like you are an average player. You're going into a normal standard game or a normal ranked game. And while this ship is great for spotting, great for dumping torps in the water, and it has the great HE alpha, when caught by any other destroyer, it's going to lose a gunfight. It needs to land a torpedo in order to really win a gunfight, or at least engage a destroyer that has a low amount of health remaining to really win the fight. So, Kagero is fun for torpedoing, but that's really where the strength of it ends. Just staying stealthy and dropping torpedoes. Yuudachi, even more so. Smoke, speed boost, torpedo reload. She actually... No. This ship has... It's a Shiratsuyu with torpedo reload booster and smoke and speed boost. But it has the same... It has low HP. This ship is even more... It has even less HP than the Kagero does. But having smoke and torpedo reload booster is nice. And you can just shit out 16 nuclear torpedoes easily. So, it's the same thing as Kagero. It lives and dies by concealment. It's going to lose a gunfight unless it hits a torpedo. So, it's another C tier in terms of solo carry. Because, like, these ships are great at torpedoing, but it's just like, when it comes down to it, you need to be able to kill destroyers in order to really carry as a solo player. Because if the enemy DDs know what they're doing and they're winning a flank or they're challenging your capital ships, and it comes down to you, it's going to be up to you to kill them. And there are just certain ships to be careful. Well, if you have a 40-second reload on Kagero, what's your range, Noriko? Like 8 kilometers, 7 kilometers? Is it with Nasaburo, the Halloween commander? Yeah, like the average Kagero does not have a 40-second torpedo reload. It probably has like a minute 17 or something, somewhere along those lines. Yeah, just they live and die with their concealment. Low HP, great torpedoes, great HE alpha, but other than that, when it comes to a 1v1 versus a Fletcher or an Akizuki, it's going to lose a gunfight. Gunzo, nice. Tashkent. Okay. Great fire starter. Great AP. It has really great range for a destroyer too. It has really good gun range. No, because we're just doing all the ships. But yeah, great DPM, great range, great fire starting chance. Yes, it has torpedoes, but you really shouldn't be prioritizing your torpedoes in this thing because it has the same guns as Kaba. It doesn't have the 50mm armor plate that Kaba does, but you have more speed and you are more maneuverable. You can also slot heal on it, which is a great help when fighting enemy destroyers or dealing with something like secondaries. This ship is great when out on a flank. Yeah, I agree. Tashkent is a very hard ship to play. It is very similar to the French destroyers, but even more so. You need to stay in the open water, go out on a flank, stay away from the capture circle, and just attract enemy fire and use your insanely fast speed and agility to just dodge incoming fire and just eat salvos. That's really the way you want to play Tashkent. Just set everybody on fire on the flank. Just draw the enemy's attention to you and away from your potato teammates, and you can just win games like that. It's not, like I said, in terms of ranked gameplay, it's like a C, because you really need to be contesting caps, and the ship is more of a light cruiser than it is a destroyer. But it still can hold its own in a gunfight against the Fletcher and Akizuki. But it's definitely felt with that lack of concealment. It is definitely felt. But overall, ship's an easy beat. It's a great open water gunboat. Very few things can challenge it. Its AP can absolutely shred light cruisers. Freisland. The ship is either a high A or a low S, because the sheer DPM is insane, but that lack of torpedoes can kind of hurt you in knife fighting scenarios where you can't gun a target down. Because you have 360-degree turrets, and you have your tougher ship. So for some reason, I don't know what exactly that means for Legends. I still don't know. I think it just means you can take more damage, or you saturate faster or something, or you have enough armor to shatter HE. So you're a great destroyer to just farm, but I mean, great cap contester with hydro and speed boost, and you have a long smoke. It's not American long, but it's still pretty long. But just it's missing those torpedoes. It really is, because that's area denial. Yeah, exactly. It's great in a gunfight, and it still has plenty of utility, but it lacks that area denial. It lacks that area denial. Because in a cap, you have to either sit back because you're going to be outspotted because you are going to be stealthy. Great DPM, great smoke, great utility. I think even though it doesn't have torpedoes, I think Freisland still is going to be an S, just because of exactly. If the Freisland gets rushed, bye-bye. And I don't think it can pull a trade-off in that scenario because it doesn't have torpedoes to trade with. I think, Freisland is a low A. So it's a very strong ship, don't get me wrong. This ship is an insane thing. Do not try and challenge this in a 1v1 and really in any destroyer, unless you're an Akizuki or a Fletcher with great positioning. But you have to know where to position yourself to farm and where the enemy destroyers are, because those are what you're going to dominate. Yeah. But solo carry potential, we all know. We've all watched the videos of all the CCs, and all of us want to be CCs playing in this ship when it came out. And it's a very strong ship, but I just think that lack of area denial kind of comes back to haunt the Freisland. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, in that situation, there was if any other destroyer is caught in that scenario, it's exactly the same. It's hard to just keep one ship out because of area denial, but it also has great anti-air. That's another great thing. It has insanely good anti-air. This thing can shred planes. Then you can also target Freisland's guns, because it only has 4 guns. Yeah, it's a great ship, insanely good DPM, great utility, but it has a low amount of guns. You'll always be able to have all 4 on target with 360, but low amount of guns, no torpedoes, and I just think that holds it back from being an S. Like I said, insanely great DPM. Yeah, I agree, but man, yeah, Freisland can hold its own in legendary tier. That's something we have to account for. It's being up tiered. For right now, I'll keep Freisland in A, but I might move it up to S later on. Hseinyang, C if not D. It's got okay DPM, not anything insane, because it's a Benson with it is the USS Benson, but it's had turret 53 removed. It has deep water torpedoes, so good luck trying. Well, you're not even going to be able to counter destroyers with your torpedoes. It's all about battleships. You can slot in radar, but then you give up your smoke screen. You have an okay concealment, not anything insanely good. The ship is better in divisions. If this was rating division boats, Hseinyang would be A, possibly even S. But solo, like giving up smoke just to get radar for the last 15 seconds isn't really worth it. And your deep water torpedoes can only hit battleships. So, like, the only way you can take down an enemy DD is with your guns. And your guns are still good, but exactly. It's a better division boat than it is a solo boat. Not at the end of the day. Like, in a high destroyer game, this ship suffers. This ship absolutely suffers. In a high battleship game, as long as you don't get caught out by the one enemy destroyer like the one cruiser, you'll be fine. But it's a better division boat than it is a solo boat. Loyang. So Loyang, insanely good hydro. 5.4 kilometer hydro allows you to stealth hydro, so that's insane. Once again, it's the same 4x1 gun configuration. No, Loyang was US Suspense, my bad. Hseinyang was a Gleech class. Yeah. That's another thing, like, if you look at tier for tier, just like Hseinyang is a Gleaves class, technically a Benson, but it's versing Fletchers and Akizukis and Loyangs and Freislands. It just, in a solo situation, it's not going to win that fight. It'll put up a great fight, but, like, all it has is its guns against enemy destroyers. So, for that reason, I'm putting it in low D. It still could easily be a C tier against, like, it's C when high battleships, but the average game we all know had at least 3 destroyers, possibly even 4. So it's going to be in D tier. Division play, A, solo, D. Loyang, insane hydro. It has speed boost and smoke. So it's great utility. It has torpedoes. Now you have to choose between having like 16k damage per torpedo with only like a 6.4 kilometer range and like 60 knot speed, or you can have like the 12k damage torps that go 11 kilometers, but they only go like 50 knots. So having that choice between torps is nice, but you definitely want to be using the former. Because, well, actually, now with Loyang, you really should be prioritizing using your hydro on a cap, because you can stealth hydro destroyers, and you can really put up a good fight because you have really good DPM. But here's the thing: I feel like if I put Loyang in S, Freisland has to go in S2 because of the sheer DPM. Because I believe Freisland is second only to Akizuki, or possibly like third to Fletcher and then Akizuki in terms of AP DPM for destroyers at tier 7. But I don't know. I do not know. It does have a long smoke screen, which is nice. It is a very powerful boat. It is a great boat in ranked. Loyang is probably one of the strongest boats to play in ranked. Solo, though, it can be hard, because if you miss your torps, your guns are very nice. They have a decent fire chance, but you only have 4 of them. And it can be hard to farm down large targets, especially like battleships or like even up tiered against like Yamis or GKs. It can be tough to farm them. You have enough range to do it, but yeah, I just feel like each has the one thing holding it back. With Freisland, just the lack of the area denial, and really just the lack of low firepower and the lack of flexibility. Like, all you are is just a DPM machine. You have to just keep shooting. If you don't shoot, why are you not playing? Like, why not play a Kagero or an Akizuki or something else that has torpedoes? So you're just not going to be shooting your guns. It's just a waste of the firepower. With Loyang, you have to choose between having short range or long range torps, where at the short range you're only going to really be effective in YOLO situations or against destroyers, or you have the long range torps, which just are going to be great at setting floods, but that's really about it. Yeah, like, I'm not saying that these are bad. Freisland and Loyang are insanely good ships, but I just don't think they can compare to Fletcher, Lightning, and Akizuki. Oh boy, ZF6. I think she's a solid B. She has an okay AA suite, really good AP, like insanely good AP. Your AP, I believe, 9 times out of 10, it can arm on destroyers. Like gearing, I know it can arm on gearing. I know for a fact it can arm on Tashkents and Kabas. I haven't been able to see. I haven't tried it out too much on destroyers though, because I just try to knock their in-caps. Like I try to in-cap their module. But reload booster is nice. You only have 8 km torps, but you shit them out every 60 seconds basically. So you can keep shitting out torps. That reload boost, like your AP poses a threat to really anything. Any target that gives you broadside is your AP is going to be monstrous against, especially like cruisers. Yeah, ZF6 is either a high B or a low A. It is very slow. It does suffer like the ZF6, the Z23. It's very sluggish. It's a large target. Kind of eats damage. It does have speed boost, but of course, like most destroyers at this tier also have speed boost. So it's not as fast and it's not as maneuverable. It's got great AP DPM and HE DPM. Yeah, exactly. With the main battery reload booster, it's nice, but it's the same situation as Le Fantasque. With the reload booster, holy crap, that thing's, you don't want to challenge that. But without it, you could easily take it down in a 1v1. So this ship is a low A. I'm gonna put it as high B, like the highest in B. And then last but not least, Udaloi. Actually, that is a fair point. You still have a fairly easy reload. It's definitely not S, because it has a short smoke screen, as the German smoke. Reloads, and slightly faster, but it only lasts like 70 seconds, so kind of a shit smoke screen. Yeah. ZF6 is the lowest in A. The lowest in A. Udaloi. For me personally, I think it's in C, because it has heal, smoke, and speed boost, but it suffers the same as Tashkent. It has a very large profile. It's a very large target. It's not great concealment. Yeah, it has a lot of torpedoes, but you're going to be seen coming from a mile away. You have the same guns as Tashkent and Kaba, which is great. That's really good in 1v1s versus other destroyers. But in terms of ranked, it's going to be outspotted, and it's not as fast as Tashkent. Tashkent's just better in the open waters, where her high concealment her low concealment kind of helps her. Like it's negated by just her speed in the open water. This thing has the same concealment, or just about, but it's not as fast, and it's not really designed to play in the open water. It's more of a torpedo boat. But there are better torpedo boats to play, i.e. the Kagero and Yuudachi. And hell, even like some of these ships. They're just better things. Well, that is true. ZF6 does have really fast torps. Exactly. Yeah, ZF6 is low A. Definitely low A. But Udaloi, I'm sticking with C. Like, she just has poor concealment. She's not good in the open water. Like, yeah, she has heal and speed boost and smoke, which is great. Like I said, it's utility is a big thing I will take into account. But man, oh man, this thing cannot go in the open water. It can't gunboat in the open water for too long, especially against other battleships. Like against DPM cruisers, all these things suffer. But I mean, especially Udaloi, because it's just such a large target. Not saying it's a bad boat, but just in the presence of all these destroyers, it just doesn't compare. So Udaloi goes in the Charlie. It has okay torpedoes, and yeah, it has heal and speed boost and smoke. Yep. It just is outclassed by all these ships up here. And yeah, that's it for the Tier 7 destroyers. We have Fletcher, Lightning, and Akizuki leading the way at S tier. We have very tightly contested Alpha A tier with Freisland, Z23, Loyang, and ZF6. And then in Bravo tier, we have Le Fantasque and Tashkent. C tier, we have Kagero, Yuudachi, and Udaloi. And then in D tier, we have Paolo Emilio and Hseinyang. So yep, that's it for Tier 7 Destroyers. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.